managing blood sugar. But naturally, yeah, we're going past the typical advice and looking at what science says about specific foods that can really make a difference.
Sounds great.
You guys sent us natural foods for blood sugar management. What science says? So we're going to unpack it together.
I think it's really cool because we're not just talking about, trendy superfoods. This is like everyday ingredients and how they can be like real allies for your health.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine like you're starting your day and you want to make choices that are going to set you up for stable blood sugar.
Right.
Okay, so let's say you're having oatmeal for breakfast, which I know a lot of us enjoy. Research actually suggests that just adding like half a teaspoon of cinnamon could really lower those fasting blood sugar levels.
It's true, and it's not just the flavor. A 2019 study that I've actually published in Diabetes Care showed that cinnamon can improve something called insulin sensitivity. And what that means is that it helps your cells respond better to insulin, which allows them to absorb glucose more efficiently.
So it's like cinnamon is helping your body unlock its own blood sugar regulating potential.
Exactly, yeah.
I've been putting cinnamon on everything lately. My yogurt, my coffee, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
But what if you want to go beyond breakfast? What about lunch?
Well, let's imagine you're having a sandwich, pretty classic midday meal, but you're a little worried about that post-meal blood sugar spike.
Yeah.
This is where apple cider vinegar can be really interesting.
I've heard so much about apple cider vinegar lately, but does it actually live up to all the hype?
There's actually real science behind it. Apple cider vinegar, it contains a specific type of acetic acid that slows down, basically, the rate at which your stomach empties.
Okay.
So this means that carbs are digested and absorbed more slowly, and that helps to prevent those, really rapid blood sugar spikes.
So a simple tablespoon of apple cider vinegar diluted in water before a meal could actually act like a buffer for your blood sugar.
That's a great way to think about it.
And I've found that adding it to like a salad dressing is a pretty tasty way to get it in there.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Now, moving on to dinner, let's think about leafy greens.
Okay.
Oh, like spinach, kale, collard greens, they're not just good for your health in general, but they play a specific role when it comes to blood sugar.
Okay, well, we all know leafy greens are good for us, but what makes them so special when it comes to blood sugar?
Well, leafy greens are packed with magnesium. And magnesium, this mineral, it's actually involved in over 300 processes in your body, including how insulin functions.
Wow.
Studies have actually shown that people who have higher magnesium intake tend to have better blood sugar control.
That's wild. I try to add like spinach to my smoothies, and I like to saute kale, sometimes with garlic for a side dish.
I love that.
But sometimes you just crave something sweet, right?
Of course, and that's where berries come in. They're naturally sweet and so satisfying. But unlike other sugary treats, berries have a low glycemic index. This basically means that they don't cause those dramatic blood sugar spikes that you might see with other sugary treats.
I love berries. What makes them so different from other fruits when it comes to blood sugar?
Well, berries are really rich in these things called anthocyanins. They're the pigments that give berries their vibrant colors.
Oh, okay.
Research actually suggests that these anthocyanins can improve insulin sensitivity. One study even found that consuming blueberries daily for 6 weeks led to improvements in insulin sensitivity in folks that were dealing with insulin resistance.
Wow, so enjoying a handful of berries as a snack, or adding them to yogurt, is not only delicious, but also a pretty smart choice for blood sugar management.
That's right.
But what about healthy fats? Can't forget those.
Absolutely, you're right. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, we know them for their heart health benefits, but they also play a role in blood sugar regulation.
Right, and I know omega-3 fatty acids are good for me, but how do they actually impact my blood sugar?
So omega-3s have these potent anti-inflammatory properties. And, chronic inflammation, it can actually interfere with how insulin signals, which makes it harder for your body to regulate your blood sugar. So by reducing inflammation, omega-3s can help improve your body's insulin sensitivity.
That makes a lot of sense. I try to have salmon at least twice a week. I love experimenting with different marinades and just grilling it up.
I love that. Now, if you're looking for a plant-based source of those omega-3s, let's talk about chia seeds.
Okay.
They may be tiny, but they are nutritional powerhouses.
I've always been curious about chia seeds, but beyond putting them in like pudding, I haven't really explored them too much. What makes them so special for blood sugar control?
Well, chia seeds are a great source of fiber, both soluble and insoluble. And soluble fiber, specifically, it forms like a gel in your digestive tract. And that gel slows down digestion, which, as we talked about earlier, can prevent those rapid blood sugar spikes. It also makes you feel fuller for longer, which can really help if you're struggling with sugar cravings.
Ah, so a sprinkle of chia seeds on some yogurt or in a smoothie can make a real difference.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how each of these foods offers like a unique benefit to the whole picture.
Yeah.
What about turmeric? It seems like it's everywhere these days.
It really is. Turmeric has gained so much popularity, and for good reason. It contains a really powerful compound called curcumin, which is known for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties.
And we've talked about inflammation, but how does curcumin specifically impact blood sugar?
Well, studies have shown that curcumin can actually help improve insulin sensitivity and reduce blood sugar levels. It seems to work by influencing several pathways that are involved in how your body metabolizes glucose.
That's pretty fascinating. I love to add turmeric to my curries, and I've even been making golden milk lattes. But I've heard that you need to combine it with black pepper to really enhance absorption.
That's true. Black pepper contains piperine, and piperine is a compound that significantly increases curcumin's bioavailability. So that little pinch of black pepper with your turmeric can make a big difference.
Gotcha. So this is all so insightful. I'm already thinking about how to incorporate these foods into my routine. What about Greek yogurt? I usually have that for breakfast, but I'm curious how it fits into this whole blood sugar picture.
Yeah, Greek yogurt's great. It's an excellent source of protein, which, like fiber, helps slow down digestion and prevent those really rapid blood sugar spikes. It's also a good source of probiotics.
Oh, right. Probiotics, those beneficial bacteria that are so good for gut health. But how does gut health relate to blood sugar?
That's a great question. Emerging research is showing that a healthy gut microbiome actually plays a key role in blood sugar regulation. Probiotics, they can help improve insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation, both of which can really help with blood sugar control.
So choosing plain Greek yogurt and then adding your own fruit or honey or whatever, that's a really great way to support both your gut and your blood sugar.
Absolutely.
I have to say I often overlook garlic when I'm thinking about health benefits.
Garlic is often associated with its flavor, of course,
Right.
but it has surprising benefits for blood sugar management. Studies have shown that garlic can improve insulin sensitivity and even increase insulin secretion in people with diabetes.
Oh, wow. I use garlic all the time in my cooking, but I never realized it had such a powerful impact on blood sugar. What about nuts? I love snacking on almonds and walnuts, but are they good for blood sugar too?
Nuts are a fantastic choice for blood sugar management. They offer this really unique combination of healthy fats, protein, and fiber, all of which work together to help slow down sugar absorption.
So a small handful of almonds or walnuts as a snack that can help prevent those energy crashes and keep your blood sugar stable.
Exactly. Just remember portion control because nuts can be calorie dense.
Right. Good point. Wow, it's amazing how these everyday foods can have such a big impact on our blood sugar. It's like having this whole toolkit of natural things we can use.
I know, right? It really is. And the best part is, it's not about being super strict or following some crazy diet. It's really about making small changes that you can, keep up with.
Exactly. It's about making informed choices and knowing why we're making them. But it's important to remember that these foods aren't like magic cures.
Right. Yeah, you're totally right. These foods do offer a lot of benefits, but they really work best when they're part of a bigger approach to health. Think of it like building a house. You need a strong foundation and all those supporting structures to make it strong and long-lasting.
So what are some of those other foundational elements we need to think about along with changing our diet?
Well, one thing is physical activity. It plays a huge role in managing blood sugar. When you exercise, your muscles use glucose for energy, which helps lower those blood sugar levels.
That makes sense. But does it have to be crazy intense workouts? I'm not exactly training for a marathon.
Not at all. Even moderate activity, like going for a brisk walk, dancing, even gardening can make a difference. The key is to find something you enjoy and can do regularly.
I love that. So it's not about punishing yourself with these hardcore workouts, but finding movement you actually like. And speaking of things that make you feel good or maybe not so good, how about stress? I know when I'm stressed out, my whole body just feels off. Does stress even impact blood sugar?
Oh, absolutely. When you're stressed, your body releases hormones like cortisol, and those can actually raise your blood sugar levels. It's like a natural response to help you deal with tough situations. But if you're stressed all the time, it can really mess with your blood sugar balance.
So it sounds like finding healthy ways to manage stress is super important, not just for our mental health, but also our physical health.
Exactly. It's all about finding ways to unwind and de-stress. Maybe it's meditation or yoga, spending time in nature, listening to music, anything that helps you relax and get out of that fight or flight mode.
Right. And of course, we can't forget about sleep. We all need it, but sometimes we don't prioritize it enough.
Sleep is so important for, well, pretty much everything, including how your body regulates blood sugar. When you don't get enough sleep, your body becomes less sensitive to insulin, which can lead to higher blood sugar.
It's like this chain reaction. Bad sleep leads to hormone problems, which then messes with our blood sugar control. So how much sleep should we aim for to help keep our blood sugar healthy?
Well, for most adults, it's around 7 to 8 hours of good quality sleep every night. And it's not just about how many hours you get, it's about the quality of that sleep, too.
So doing things like creating a relaxing bedtime routine, not drinking caffeine or alcohol before bed, making sure your bedroom is dark and quiet, that can all help us sleep better.
Yeah, exactly. And being consistent is key. Going to bed and waking up around the same time every day can help regulate your body's natural sleep cycle, which means you'll sleep more soundly.
It seems like consistency is a big theme here. We've talked about it with exercise, managing stress, and now sleep. What about when it comes to eating? Does that matter for blood sugar control?
Absolutely. Eating at regular times and watching your portions are super important for keeping your blood sugar levels steady.
So it's not just about what we eat, but when we eat and how much we eat. Can you explain that a little more?
Sure, when we eat huge meals or go a long time without eating anything, it can cause our blood sugar levels to go up and down like a roller coaster. So eating regular meals and snacks throughout the day helps keep things more stable.
So maybe instead of having 3 big meals, it's better to have smaller meals more often during the day.
Exactly. And don't forget portion control. Even if you're eating healthy foods, eating too much of anything can spike your blood sugar.
It's all about balance and paying attention to how your body feels. Now, before we move on to some practical tips for putting all these changes into action, there's something really important I want to remind our listeners about.
Yes, definitely. We're not doctors. The information we're sharing today is just for educational purposes and shouldn't replace advice from your doctor.
Right. If you have any concerns about your blood sugar or want to make big changes to your diet or lifestyle, it's super important to talk to your healthcare provider.
They can work with you to create a plan that's right for you and make sure it's safe and healthy.
Okay, so now that we've covered the basics, let's get to the practical stuff. How can our listeners start incorporating these blood sugar balancing foods into their everyday lives? Do you have any tips or suggestions?
Definitely. Let's start with breakfast. We talked about cinnamon, so how about adding a sprinkle to your oatmeal, yogurt, or even your coffee?
I love that idea. It's so simple, adds flavor, and you get those blood sugar benefits. What about lunch?
Try to include leafy greens in your lunch. You can toss some spinach in a salad, add kale to your sandwich, or even blend some greens into a smoothie.
Those are great ideas. And I know we talked about apple cider vinegar earlier. Can you remind us how to use it?
Sure. A tablespoon of apple cider vinegar diluted in water before you eat can help slow down how your body absorbs carbs and prevent those blood sugar spikes. You can also add it to salad dressing or marinades.
Awesome tips. Now, what about snacks? I always find myself wanting unhealthy snacks when those afternoon cravings hit.
Berries are a great blood sugar-friendly snack. They're easy to take with you, they taste great, and they're full of antioxidants. You can also have a small handful of nuts, which have those healthy fats, protein, and fiber to keep you feeling full and your blood sugar steady.
Great snack options. And how about those omega-3 rich fatty fish?
Try to have fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines in your meals at least twice a week. You can grill them, bake them, or pan-fry them. Even canned salmon or sardines are super easy options.
And what about chia seeds? We talked about how good they are for blood sugar. What's an easy way to add them to our meals?
Chia seeds are so versatile. You can sprinkle them on your yogurt, add them to smoothies, or even make chia seed pudding.
And of course, turmeric. How can we add this amazing spice to our cooking?
Turmeric adds such a nice color and flavor to dishes. You can put it in curries, soups, stir-fries, or even make those golden milk lattes. Don't forget to add a little bit of black pepper to help your body absorb it better.
These are all such easy and practical tips. I feel so inspired to try new things in the kitchen.
That's it, right. Remember, it's about finding what you like and what works for you. Don't be afraid to experiment.
Exactly. It's all about making small changes over time that you can stick with. It's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. You know, as we're wrapping up this deep dive, I'm just really struck by how much power we actually have when it comes to managing our blood sugar.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, right? We often think about blood sugar as being out of our control. But this deep dive is really showing us that the choices we make every day can have a big impact.
It's like we've been given this whole new toolkit and we understand how our bodies work better now.
And the best part is that it's not about giving up things or following stricter rules. It's about choosing foods that nourish our bodies and make us feel good.
Yeah, exactly. It's about finding that balance where healthy choices just become, habits.
That's a great way to put it. And I think that's a key takeaway for everyone listening. It's not about being perfect. It's about making small changes over time, things you can actually keep up with.
So as our listeners start to think about how they can add these blood sugar balancing foods into their lives, what's one question they should be asking themselves?
I think the most important question is, how can I make these changes work for me and my preferences?
That's a great question. We've talked about all these different foods, but everybody's different. What works for one person might not work for someone else.
Exactly. You have to pay attention to your body and see what makes you feel your best. Maybe cinnamon is what really helps you in the morning. Or maybe you find that chia seeds are amazing for those afternoon cravings.
Yeah, it's all about experimenting and finding what works for you.
And remember, even little changes can add up. Don't underestimate the power of doing things consistently. Whether it's adding cinnamon to your breakfast or having leafy greens with dinner, those small steps can lead to big improvements in your blood sugar and your overall health.
That's such a great message. It's all about taking charge of our health and making choices that help us live our best lives.
So to everyone listening, I hope you explore how these natural foods can fit into your own journey.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this deep dive into natural blood sugar management. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring how food can make you feel amazing.